Your turn, Yogi boy.
What is up, guys? This is AlintheaYoh coming at you with a card discussion today about a brand new frog card, Frog Support Hype. Swap Frog's finally been given the proper recognition it needs. Now we just need it to be in foil. That was a bit angry. Anyway, so the card is a bit of an interesting one. We don't know the full name of it just yet, but it's being kind of thrown around that it's Moichi Frog or Treatoad. You know, as in treat and then toad. Moichi is a kind of dessert anyway, so... But it is a rank 2 water aqua type XZ effect monster with 2200 attack and 0 defense. It requires 2 level 2 aqua monsters, and its effect reads as follows. During the standby phase, you can detach one XYZ material from this card, special summon one frog monster from your deck, except Frog the Jam, RIP. Once per turn, if your opponent activates a spell card, trap card, or monster effect, you can send one aqua type monster you control or from your hand to the graveyard. Negate the activation and destroy that card afterwards. You can set that destroyed card on your side of the field. This is a quick effect. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one water monster in your graveyard, add that monster to your hand. What? So there's no questioning the pedigree of this card and how goddamn good it is, simply because of effect number 2. So let's break it down. It's 2/2 attack, which is pretty decent. No defense, doesn't really matter all that much, even though it does go against kind of a lot of the frogs. I think 2 or 3 of them have 2000 defense, so it's kind of interesting. Requires 2 level 2 aqua type monsters, so obviously frogs come to mind, but also things like the Gradle Slime Jr. that came out. This could also be gone into with that deck. During the standby phase, you can detach one XYZ material from this card, special summon one frog monster from your deck, except Frog the Jam. So we all know that Frog the Jam has gotten a bit of a bad rep, and yeah, Konami just don't like it. Much like Red Eyes B Chick for the Red Eyes archetype. Effect that makes this card so goddamn good. It is a little mini Quasar, and then you steal the card. When your opponent activates spell, trap, or monster effect, you send one archetype monster you control or that's in your hand, negate the activation, then destroy the card, and then you get to choose if you want to set that card on your side of the field. So it is more of a Hell to Perfection really, but just for aquas. It's nice you can send from your side of the field, and also you can send from hand. Some people might be saying, well, how do I set a card? Because you don't know what you're going to be setting. So for example, if your opponent activates a trap card, you destroy it, then set it in your back row. Same with a spell, and if it's a monster, you set the monster on your side of the field. A perfect archetype that this card can go into, not only is frogs, is the OCG Burgerstorm. Now, Burgerstorm is a pretty interesting trap deck that basically just spits out level 2 aquas that are trap monsters, but then obviously can be used as a normal monster for an XZ summon. That is a pretty good archetype for this card, and honestly, that's where this card's going to go. Unless there is more frog support, there isn't really enough power in that deck to make it predominant. Even with this one card, it's not really strong enough for frogs on their own to be that good. Maybe you can go back to the Frognarch builds, which is the Frog Monarchs. However, then obviously you're going to go into a world of hurt. I'm sure if you go check out Lithium, he's going to come up with some interesting builds for this card, which he always does. If not already, it is out. Third and final effect, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target one water monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. So recycling those swap frogs in your graveyard is pretty decent if you ask me. You can just replenish your hand with the fact that anything you may have discarded for the effect, if this card then gets destroyed the same turn, it's pretty decent because you've just got a free negation. That also does include the monsters that are counted as XZ materials on this card, because it will go from the field to the graveyard, the XZ materials go with it as well. Then its effect kicks in, and then you can choose any water monster in your graveyard to add back to your hand. I do like the fact it says any water monster, and it hasn't just restrained the fact that you have to only choose a aqua type monster, because then obviously the scope of cards that you could get would be a lot less. Very important that the second effect says that you have to send an aqua type monster, because if it just said water monster and this is also a water monster, Mermels would run riot. They still might be able to use it, it might be a one-off, it completely depends if people do want to use with an inventory. And also like a Diva, for example, if you so wish, a 1 card into this is pretty decent, but then also Diva has multiple functionality, and this Diva should probably not come back to more than 1 right now then. Overall, this card is absolutely brilliant if you ask me, and I really do like it. It's going to be very interesting to see what people come out with. As I said, the 2 big decks are the Frogs and the Burgerstorm. Possibly other different decks like the Atlanteans, and Mermels might be able to use it with Gradle, Stretch. It's still going to be very interesting to see how the community will abuse this card, because it has the potential to be abused and it's not that difficult to summon. So that is it. I want to know what you guys think of the Treat Frog. Do you think it is a really good card? Do you think it is as crazy as I am making it out to be? Or do you just think it is something that is really good but only for a certain amount of archetypes, and it's not really going to make that much of an impact until Burgestorm comes over to the TCG? So as I said, let me know down in the comment section below. Make sure to give me a like, comment, subscribe, and I shall catch you guys later.